Take your mind into the wonderful world of physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kinetic Hour. Conversations with you and guests. With your host, Kenan, Wesley, Mason. That's me.
I think Bob Marley said it best. You know, you running away and you running away and you running away, but you can't run away from yourself.
Exactly.
You can't run away from yourself until you fix you internally. You're going to have the same circumstances. You're going to have the same situations. You're going to come across the same type of people. Same type of people. And typically you're going to have the same type of results. Usually that's how life works. And so you having that experience with relationships, we see what the controversy is with Monique, as we talked about, with her and her relationship with her husband and how people view that as a threat. You know, we see different types of relationships in between the person, the athlete, and the sport itself. To this weekend is Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
And you know, I predicted a week ago, before the game even ended, I predicted that Kansas City would definitely be one of those teams to be in the Super Bowl. And I predicted it because of all the media hype that Kansas City has been getting because of one relationship within that team. One relationship. And if one relationship is getting that type of media attention, that creates more streams, it creates more revenue. So I already knew that Kansas City was going to be one of those teams to be in the Super Bowl. They're not going to, meaning the media and entertainment industry, they're not going to let go of a good thing when you have one of the biggest entertainers on the planet, Taylor Swift, dating a potential Super Bowl champion in Mr. Kelsey. And because of that, relationship, people are talking. And the Super Bowl itself has brought a lot of controversy over the years. You know, we had what they call it, Inflategate and all that stuff. You know, we saw Colin Kaepernick do a docu-series or mini-series about him and his time in the NFL and some of the things that he experienced and saw within the NFL. You being in professional sports, professional football, and having the experience with the NFL in the past, there are truths or there are secrets within the NFL that rarely, if ever, get put on the table. And you know, I've been a sports fan pretty much all my life. I played Pop Warner football growing up. Way back, we talking early 80s now. Childhood, played Pop Warner football for the Long Beach Poly Pacers for 2 years, and then played for 1 year for the Saints, Long Beach Poly Saints. And as you can see, I'll stand up a little bit so I can show everyone that I'm
Long Beach.
representing
Long Beach.
representing the hometown here, because
That's all good.
because I met you at Long Beach Polytechnic High School sophomore year, and we've been friends ever since.
Yep. I was that skinny dude with the glasses.
Right. That's right. You were you was the skinny dude with the glasses, and I was the introvert that had the acne all over my face and was getting teased every day.
Yeah. Battle rapid.
Yeah, I played football in high school. I played 1 year at Long Beach Poly High School and ran track my sophomore and senior year. But there's always controversies within sports. You brought up Simone Biles earlier. We all know about the controversy between gymnastics and the gymnastics trainers, and how they were treating the female athletes, the gymnasts. And now we see in football, there are some truths that haven't been brought to the table. So what can you say based on your experience, being that you have had some experiences within the NFL?
01, coming out of a D3 school, 01, going to the Atlanta Falcons. I was cut week 3.
What year was that?
2001.
2001. Okay.
Then 05, Dallas Cowboys training camp. That's when it went from having 3 preseason games to 4 or 5 preseason games. I made it to the last got cut. But being on that inside, I will say that what most don't know is deals, the secret deals that are being made at the table in the office when the doors are closed, without saying too much, but the deals that are being made with certain individuals in the coach's office. And, it has always been questioned, NFL being fixed or not, the scenarios, the narratives, and there's been times even in preseason, that's the time to showcase, certain hits, certain plays that should have been made. Certain individuals not playing. If you ever notice during the preseason, the starters, they'll probably play 1 quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or you have certain starters that are not suiting up, but they're on the sideline. Again, certain teams have that ability to let's showcase what we have. And it's being looked upon as, well, this individual's trying out. No, that's what you think. That's the notion. This person's trying out for this team. But when you don't When you don't respond to the conversations that coaches have with you, paraphrasing, when you don't respond to the conversations that the coaches have for you or have with you, okay, come to the office and bring your playbook with you, if that makes sense. But when you do respond to the conversation that the coaches have with you, then you find yourself on the team, if that makes sense.
And when you say respond, meaning that you agree and go along with what's being offered to you
At that time, correct.
before you go out on that field,
Correct.
or before any agreements or contracts are signed.
Mm-hmm. There were times when I had certain things presented to me. I'll say that. And I looked into it. You notice I said looked into, and it didn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well with me. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, so this is how it goes on the inside that those on the outside don't know. You see? And that's what I say, the underhand deals, certain deals are being made. When you out there and you playing, certain people, certain tackles that are supposed to be made, don't make those tackles. Certain catches that are supposed to be made, don't catch it. You see? Don't worry about it. We'll give you an incentive. Because see, you get 2 checks. You get your regular check, then you get an incentive check. Just like in the Arena League. We got our regular check and we got an incentive check.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so we got 2 checks.
And the incentive check is for those that hope I didn't lose you. Oh, there he is. All right. But as I was saying, when you say incentive, meaning that people, if they agree to do certain things to help the team move forward, or do certain things to have the team fall back.
When I say incentive, like for example, me being a lineman, a D lineman, I can get. We'll use this example: $100 for every tackle.
Okay.
$50 for every forced fumble.
Okay.
$75 for every block pass.
Mm-hmm.
You see those incentives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's why the statistics are so important.
Exactly, because those your incentive pay.
Got it.
Which is separate from your regular pay.
Okay. So we talking about the overall agreement contract that you made just for being a player, but now you have a whole nother paycheck coming in based on what you make your statistics. You have so many tackles, you have so many interceptions, you have so many sacks, you have so many field goals made, or whatever the case might be. That's the incentive.
Yeah. So when I played for the Georgia Force in the AFL, and I was making $5,000 a week. Now let's talk about incentives.
Okay.
$50 for every tackle, $75 for every sack, You see? So therefore, that made me play hard. And, you know, the difference between the NFL and the indoor game was fun. It was more exciting.
Talking about arena football.
It wasn't fixed. A lot of these sports, they're fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the NFL to the NBA, they're fixed. It's like, well, why does it have to be that way? Because it's about money.
Yep.
Revenue generated.
Yep.
You think about it. So when it comes to the Super Bowl, most are going to put a lot of money on the 49ers. I believe they're like the underdog, if I'm not mistaken. But if you look at the narratives, it's going to be a win-win at the end of after it's all said and done. It's going to be a win-win for both.
Yep. Yep.
Whether Kansas City wins, 49ers win. But look at the narrative. When you watch pay attention. When you watch the first quarter, you can almost have an idea how the rest of the three quarters are going to play out.
Right.
Watch the first quarter.
Yeah.
So it's not a knock. That's why, you know, some ask me, Big Truck, who do you think is going to win? You know, Kansas City have a good chance of winning. But it all depends on who's going to win. The team who put the money on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which team puts the money on the table? Well, what do you mean? You'll figure it out. When every team put more money on that table. We'll leave it at that. Pay attention. Certain tackles that are supposed to have been made. Certain catches that are supposed to have been made.
Yep. Yep.
Certain play calls.
Certain play calls. Yeah, that's the big one.
That's
the big one.
Not just the referee. Don't look at the referee call. Not the referee call.
Yeah.
Play call.
The play call. Yeah. Yeah.
On certain downs.
Now, I've always noticed over the last few years that the quarterbacks really don't call plays anymore. The plays usually come from upstairs, from the people in the booth.
Well, when the thing of it is even in the helmets, they got microphones.
Right.
Where the quarterback can communicate with the offensive coordinator and also the head coach. Okay. So that's why the coaches wear the headset. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when the play calls come from the coordinator, it comes from the coordinator to the coach gives it to the quarterback. In some cases, coach will call a play. Quarterback would change the play in the huddle. Mm-hmm. If you watch Any Given Sunday, Jamie Foxx did that.
Yeah.
Why are you changing the play call? I didn't call that play. That's the best way to give an example of how this game is played. Watch Any Given Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, I was in that, non-speaking role, but just being on that set too, as well. The things you learn when you sit back and you listen and you watch. You see? So when it comes down to looking the part, playing the part, you get chosen for the part. Versus looking the part, playing the part, and not get chosen for the part.
Mm-hmm. Based on
does that mean that it's over? No. I just chose to take a different direction. And that different direction took me to the indoor game.
Yeah.
And I had an amazing run to get nominated to play for AFE Team USA.
Yeah.
to retire last year, but also to get nominated into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And you chose to go, something you said last time you were on, and something that we've heard on social media from a few people in the entertainment industry, that you have 3 doors that you can choose, because we all have choices to make. We can play the blame game and say this person did this and this person did that. Why am I not getting paid such and such amount of money to play this role, or why am I not getting this amount of money to play these amount of games? You have 3 doors that you can choose to go through. You can go to the one on the left, you can go to the one on the right, or you can go the straight and narrow, which may be a longer and possibly sometimes tougher or more challenging road. But nonetheless, you made a choice to take your conscience and kind of have a conversation with yourself to say, if I go down this road here to the left or to the right, how is that going to look in my spirit and soul, versus if I go and take the straight and narrow, how will I feel and what will my successes be if I go down this road, and what will the incentives be as well?
I chose not to sell out at the end of the day. I refuse to sell out. I refuse to sell my soul, so that later the devil can come to collect. Not that one. I'm not that guy. Never have, never will. Even my time of playing, pro ball, there's never been no negative smut on my name.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
I love doing stuff within the community for the kids. I love helping out when I can, even feeding the homeless, doing things that are positive and constructive.
Right. Because you want to, not because you feel like you're obligated to, because you play on this NFL team.
That part.
And that's one of the incentives. You got to go out and give turkeys or talk to the kids at these schools and all of that, because you're more obligated to do that. I think the cheerleaders have to do the same thing. They're kind of obligated to do that because
it's called community service.
Community service, right? Because they're only making crumbs.
Because in our contract, we're not labeled as athletes. We're not labeled as football players. We're labeled as entertainers. We are entertainers. So when you're watching those games, it's entertainment.
Yep.
You get it? It's entertainment.
That's right.
Regardless if it's a bad play call or a good play call, missed tackle, entertainment.
Yeah.
Why did he miss that tackle?
Yeah.
How is it that Detroit Lions was doing good in the first half, but in the second half there was a shift?
Yep.
What went on in that locker room during halftime?
Right. Yep.
I think I need some cognac.
Because a lot of people did say that, like, damn, that should be Detroit in the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. That would have been a bigger spectacle. But again, it's all about how much money is put on the table by the respective NFL team.
There it is.
To get into the Super Bowl, which is the biggest game on the planet as far as American sports is concerned.
So what the people don't know won't hurt them. But the thing of it is, you have a large number of people that do know, because now they're looking into it.
Yeah.
They're looking into things instead of looking at things. And it's like, wait a minute. Watch the body language of these coaches. Watch the facial micros. I'll be telling people.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
You know, what's your favorite team? I don't have no favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lover of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes down to it, you know, the end result is going to be what it's going to be. And there's nothing that we can do to change that.
Yep.
You know, I remember in the beginning of January, I had a conversation with Carl Weathers. Him and my dad were good friends. You know, and, you know, Carl Weathers just passed.
Yep.
And I remember having a phone conversation with him. My dad, like, you know, put him on three-way and we was talking. He was like, Delonte, you know, I'm so proud of you, son. I'm so proud of you. Delonte, I'm so proud of you. I'm seeing what you're doing on your YouTube channel. Keep it going. Continue to get that word out there in your own way. Subscribers are going to come. The message is going to reach people, but be real about it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing he said to me. He said, be real about it. Tell your truth. Embrace what you've been through and share it, because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear it. So, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, he said, I've been knowing your father for years. I said, I know, I remember. You know, and when I heard of his passing, I was like, whoa, that hit home to me, because I just had a conversation with this man.
You also knew Jim Brown, the late great Jim Brown.
My mentors was Jim Brown, Reggie White, Greg Townsend, Marlon Briscoe, Christian Okoye. You know, these were individuals that mentored me, that when it came to helping me perfect my game, you know, even, you know, the late, you know, my boy Sean Taylor, you know, these are individuals that helped develop my game. You know, Big Adam Plant, you know, Archie Alexander. These are individuals that helped me perfect my game, and I love them always. I love those individuals always. You know, including my dad, 3-time silver medalist in the Olympics representing Jamaica. So these were individuals that poured into me, that I will always be grateful, and I would love them, you know, 7 times affinity, you know, because they didn't have to pour into me, but they saw something in me. Mm-hmm. Even my brother, you know, my man Christopher Big Black Boykins, you know, from the show Robin Big, you know, and when you have certain people that play a factor in your life and in your growth, and they see something in you and that invests in you, you cherish that. Yeah. You know, you cherish that. You know, without all of them, I wouldn't have this belt. I wouldn't have these rings. I wouldn't have 2 gold medals. I wouldn't have the plaques.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the awards. Here's a skinny dude that was wearing glasses. It came from Long Beach, you know? that was getting shoved in locker rooms and getting picked on and bullied. Mm-hmm. You know? But the things that I had to endure that I went through, that could have sent me into a different place.
Yeah.
In and out of certain relationships because I had issues with my mother. But it took for me to go through a divorce. It took for me to go through a divorce to see myself, and also to see that I married a woman that was broken. I married a woman that was running from her childhood. I married a woman that has unresolved issues with her past. I married a woman that felt that it was okay to treat me this way. You see? But it wasn't until I looked at myself and I went back into my past and reconciled my relationship with my mother. And that was hard for me. But I was broken. Going through a divorce that you didn't even see coming. Getting gaslit and have everything shamed and put on you. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
But yet I married a woman that took on 4 of her children. You see? I didn't care. If we a family, we a family. But some people don't realize they had a good thing until it's gone. But I went through my phases. I went through each and every emotion there was, because when life shifted that way, it was new to me. Getting kicked out the house, being homeless, but still had to work, still putting money in this woman's home. She can take my money, but can't take me. I'm fighting for my marriage. She makes up that 80% of the women that file for divorce. Here I am fighting for my marriage. Never cheated, never did anything. You see, did the things that I was supposed to do. But sometimes we do the right things for the wrong person.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But once again, I had to look at myself, and I'm glad that I looked at myself.
Yeah.
Okay, let me dive into this so that the next relationship I get into, I don't make these mistakes. Well, the first thing is I need to apologize to myself for allowing this woman to mistreat me. Then I need to open up my eyes and my ears. You see? Then I need to take it. I need to suck it up and take it. It's like, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be. I didn't even see the divorce coming.
Yeah.
But you know what? I had to accept it. And the more I did the work on myself, and when I turn around and I look at it, I'm glad it happened this way. Because it made me such a better person. It made me humble. It made me know now of what I need from a woman in a relationship, not what I want, not what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. When I listen to these standards that a large number of these women have for men, I'm like, wow, and that actually works for you? It doesn't. I'd rather take a woman and flip burgers at Burger King, but that woman knows how to love, and she's ready to love. You see? Hey, I bring my finances to the table. She bring her finances to the table. We multiply. That means come together, and we have an empire. We submit to each other. We love each other. 50-50, teamwork. And what these modern women are seeing is that women that do have a good head on their shoulders and they see how they move, that's what they don't like. Because they're moving in a different direction. It's like, no, all that modern shit, y'all can have that. I'm going to do this over here. Watch me work. And they see how happy they are. They see how happy those types of women are. So when you look at the Moniques and the Simone Biles, they're happy. They're in love. Like, wait a minute, they're supposed to be miserable and angry like us. Nah, not everybody.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a boss? No, they don't need to call themselves boss bitches. They're women, they're ladies, they're queens. I have nothing but love and respect for Monique. And
Absolutely.
I look forward to the day of actually meeting her and just to say hello. I look forward to the day of meeting Shannon Sharpe and just saying hello and going on his show. Because when you put yourself in a room with greatness, it makes you look at you and your worth. You are worth. You are worth it to be in the presence of greatness, in the room with greatness, because you are great within yourself.
Yeah. Greatness is definitely within, and also, we see how these relationships definitely are looked upon as being so great, but we try to look so hard for the negative in the relationship. I remember, I think it was maybe a couple of weeks ago, Taylor Swift had to kind of hide the fact that she had to kind of put her hand up in front of her lips to kiss her boyfriend, because she knows that the moment she gives her man a kiss on camera, it's going to cause this big controversy. You because you mentioned about how people have to move when they're in these type of relationships, how Monique has to move, how Taylor Swift has to move, how Simone Biles has to move in their relationship. And how dare Simone's husband make the claim that he and men are the catch, as if we're not allowed to have the confidence within ourselves to say, yeah, I'm a good man. Hell, shit, I am a catch.